ancient mystery of giant mounds of Jerusalem built for unknown reasons, archaeologists are still baffled. Well, a few days ago, I did post a video on the origin of Jerusalem because of what events are taking place there now. One claims it's from antiquity, their area. Another claims it's their area. Well, we've posted a video from a researcher that says that Jerusalem was actually built by very, very ancient Greeks who came from Crete, from the Minoan Empire. And as we know, in the Old Testament, we do have reference to Philistines being giants. Now, the ancient mystery of, and of course that researcher claims that Jerusalem was Solimon, Jerusalem, built by Solimus, who came from Crete. Yero meaning holy or blessed, the blessed city of Solimus, Jerusalem. Now, archaeologists are trying to solve an ancient mystery, and that's not easy because there are several contradicting theories. Around Jerusalem, there are several giant mounds, and now we know the giant mounds in Greece, for example, were tombs. If you look up the tomb of Marathon, it's a giant mound with the I think there was 119 Athenian warriors that were buried there. 119, something like that. And it's a mound, it's a hill. So they used to put their soldiers in a mass grave and then make a mound out of them. And the mound was basically a place where people would pass by and know that their heroes are buried there. So archaeologists are trying to solve an ancient mystery, and that's not easy because there are several contradicting theories. Around Jerusalem, there are several giant mounds that were constructed for unknown reasons by builders we cannot identify. The mounds made of earth and stone are as high as a 6-story building. They're estimated to be 2,500 years old, and they simply refuse to give up their secrets. Who were the mysterious builders of these giant mounds? Why did they bother to raise such huge ancient structures? Were these mounds used as pagan sites or royal memorials? What is their connection to the Philistines and biblical prophets? These are some of the questions scientists are attempting to answer. Under one of the artificial mounds, archaeologists found remains of a 2,700-year-old building and dozens of stamped jar handles. This significant archaeological discovery offered evidence the site was connected to the administration of the Kingdom of Judah in the First Temple period, but why was the building beneath the mounds? Was the biblical administration center deliberately hidden under stones and soil? According to Haaretz, the Jewish newspaper, as many as 19 artificial mounds have been discovered around the old city of Jerusalem so far. But archaeologists have also studied these ancient structures and cannot agree on the structure's function. Many of the mounds are in the vicinity of the biblical valley of Rephaim. Rephaim, as we know, were giants, Nephilim giants, Nephalim-Rephaim. Could the ancient structures have been constructed by giants or as a defense against extremely high and strong people? In the Bible, there are many stories dealing with the Rephaim, a group of giants described as, quote, a mighty people with tall stature who lived in Canaan, end quote. Another mysterious race that's mentioned in the Bible are the little-known Didanum people, sometimes also called the Ditanu or Tidanu. The Didanum people were ancestors of the Nephilim and the Rephaim, so they were, of course, giants. We know that during the Bronze Age, about 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, an unknown civilization was present in the Middle East. These mysterious ancient super-builders left behind hundreds of enormous stone structures. Who were these people? Where did they come from, and what happened to them? Can the enigmatic artificial mounds of Jerusalem be somehow connected to the unknown giant race of builders? My guess would be yes. Some archaeologists think there is an ancient connection between Israel's mounds and the early Iron Age burial mounds found in Greece. In 1923, William F. Albright, one of the first archaeologists to study the site, suggested after having studied pottery found at the site that the mounds were not raised by the Israelites but by invading Philistines. And where we say the Philistines come from? Ancient Greece. Then they were giants with 6 fingers, 6 toes. And that is also written in the Old Testament. There's a lot of historical and archaeological evidence in the Old Testament. Even in the Old Testament book of Maccabees, the Spartans knew that they were descendants of Abraham and related to the Hebrews. The Spartans, yes, of ancient Greece. Now, most modern archaeologists agree with Albright's theory. There's no evidence the mounds were used as tombs. There's also nothing that can link these huge ancient structures to the Philistines. Well, they have to dig them up to find out, first of all. That's my comment. Ruth Amiran, an Israeli archaeologist who studied the mounds in 1953, reached the conclusion the structures were what the Bible calls bamot, usually translated as high places. She discovered one tumulus is another word for tomb, that concealed a retaining ring wall interrupted by flight of a few steps. These led into a platform that housed remains of a fire and burnt animal bones. Now, Amiran examined the ancient artifacts found on the site, came to believe the tumuli had been used as a place of worship. In an attempt to make the Israelite religion more monotheistic, the pagan sites were later destroyed by King Hezekiah and King Josiah. This theory is also met with skepticism by modern scientists who contradict Amiran's argument, saying that not all of the tumuli had a platform suitable for the worship of ancient gods. Scientists think it unlikely ancient people constructed the mounds with the intention of erasing paganism and destroying cult sites. The artificial mounds are visible from miles away, and they have survived for thousands of years. There are countless theories attempting to explain the purpose of Jerusalem's ancient mounds, but the structures raise more questions than answers. Some have suggested the mounds were used for storage purposes. Other researchers say the structures were linked to memorial ceremonies held for deceased kings of Judah. Some scholars favor the theory the mounds were raised by the Assyrian conquerors or the local vassal kings as observation posts. All these theories are fascinating, but they cannot fully explain the purpose of the ancient structures. At present, we simply cannot determine whether the giant mounds of Jerusalem were symbols of a conquering power, agricultural landmarks, storage facilities, places of worship, or something else entirely. The ancient mounds are unwilling to reveal their secrets, but more archaeological studies may eventually provide us with answers about the structure's past. One day we may get to the bottom with this ancient mystery. This is by Jan Bartek on Message to Eagle. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.